our traditional medicines in Nigeria. And guess what? Some people have said, yes, it is working, while others have, expressed different views. This is what we will be looking at on the show this morning in our discussion segment. We'll also bring that very segment you're always looking forward to, hash trends and hashtags, while we look at what is happening in the world of entertainment and news, of course, making rounds. And you know how it is. This segment will always start with our newspaper review segment, and that is what we will immediately go into now for you to be abreast of what is happening in Nigeria and of course beyond. So let's just run it now. Patience was on the papers. Okay, Solomon.
I'll start with the Punch newspaper. The Punch newspaper says, the main headline says, Humanitarian Ministry Scandal. EFCC seizes Edu, former minister's passport. And the writer says, bank MDs grilled and suspended minister barred from traveling. The whole scandal and allegations concerning the humanitarian minister is making wave. A lot of Nigerians are talking about it, that even the women are not left out of
this is really heartbreaking, because women are supposed to be mothers, and we're supposed to have the well-being of our immediate family and the community at large at heart. And for a woman to be this heartless, and what really grieves my heart is this budget is supposed to be for humanitarian service for the poor, and you can open your eyes and also go back to sleep knowing that you have deprived some people of the privileges that they're supposed to enjoy. It's really sad.
Well, you see, we have to look at this very issue from 2 points of views, and I've always said that a lot of times when a woman is being accused this way, I've always said when you have women at the helm of affairs, they always want to grill you, they want to quiz you on certain things. They want to ensure that they dot the I's and they also cross the T's. So let it not be that to an extent, maybe the male counterparts do not really feel comfortable with how she questions them on certain things. Most likely what she did, she might even be advised by people who have been in that ministry before she came. This is a woman that during the COVID-19 came out to tell people to tell the world that these people are being coerced into, claiming that they have COVID. And she came out to say that there's nothing like a COVID. So I see a woman that is actually very truthful. I also see a situation where it's like somebody's trying to push her out of that office, and so this can actually be a blackmail. And if you look at what a senior advocate of Nigeria is saying yesterday, of course away from other public office holders, what he said, I'm talking about Sage, senior advocate of Nigeria, as yesterday he was saying that yes, it's okay to quiz her, it's okay for her to go to the EFCC, but that we need to see the outcome of that probe, and they should ensure that that probe is done in such a way that there's clarity. You understand? And I feel that if this woman actually have a skeleton in her cupboard, she would have found her way immediately they start accusing her. We've not forgotten how there's Alice Maduke left, but she waited. So I feel that all of these having to seize our passport is just a kind of what I call overzealousness of the EFCC, because before now, are they even the one that discovered? They were the one that discovered it.
But so if they are acting based on instructions
from the presidency, so all of these might just be a way to intimidate this woman, because we haven't even heard her. We need to be calm and also listen to her. It's just like the job we do. You cannot get one side of the story. You need to get the other party to also give her own account of what has happened. If this woman is going to come out, two things. They might even force her not to say the truth. Because of the fear of her life, she might not come out to talk. But if you are very close to her, you'll be surprised that all of what is being painted might not really be the actual picture. And so that's why I would want us to be calm before we begin to judge this very matter. Until I hear or we hear from her, then we can say that indeed she meant harm. She meant to actually defraud Nigeria. And that was precisely what Itsesage said, that we need to confirm if indeed she had the intention of defrauding the nation.
All right, moving on. Another story says fake degrees. Federal government probes 107 private universities. That's on page 8 of the Punch newspaper. Another one says Nigerians hail Tinubu as president streams foreign trips entourage. Hails indeed. All right, there's a sad one here. 85 abducted as bandits return to Kaduna Abuja expressway. It's quite unfortunate.
Oh, well, you see, what I see here is some group of people trying to fight back. I think if we can actually look back, because they say that if an adult should fall down, in my language, there's an adage. They tell you that if an adult falls down, he looks behind to know what is happening. But for a younger person, he looks forward. So I think at this point in time, we really need to look at our history in Nigeria. I think it has become a tool in the hands of those who want to frustrate the efforts of a sitting government. That every time they want to strike, the tool they embrace is insecurity. Insecurity, basically insurgency. They try to kill here and there so that the people would begin to see it as the sitting government or the government isn't doing anything. This is a way to render them powerless or ineffective, basically. So I'm not just saying that because how is all of these happening suddenly? When was the president also sworn in as the president of the nation? Before he was pronounced, before the Supreme Court's ruling, we didn't really see much of these attacks until he became and was pronounced by the by the Supreme Court that he is the real winner of the presidential election. We start seeing all of these. And a lot have been said that certain politicians have brought in this bandits into the country to fight the government. So what we are saying now, I think it is high time for the president and his security chiefs to sit down and tell themselves the truth. They know those behind all of these attacks.
It's actually a spillover. It's actually a spillover from Buhari's regime. And as it is, we have had information of the ex-Zamfara state governor, who is now the defense minister, that is actually sponsoring these bandits. What has been done about it?
Nothing.
They're sitting on top of a keg of gunpowder, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I only hope that the sitting president will be able to bring his will be able to bring force in and ensure that all of these culprits are brought to book, because he has to let us know that he has, or he is indeed, or has the ability to run this government, and he has the ability to contain insecurity. Because if not, all of the message or his broadcast on New Year will just be as though it's just the usual talks and without actions.
Yes.
All right, finally on the Punch newspaper, it says police parade 3 suspects linked to Plateau killings. And that's on page 7.
Police,
I just hope.
exactly. Your guess is as good as mine. I only hope that these very people are the true culprits. Let it not be that some of these men have been given a certain amount of money and they are wallowing in poverty and just feel, okay, I'll take it. They say, let's just parade you, just show your face, don't worry. By the time you're in the cell, just 2 months or 1 month, the world will forget about it, and then you are back to your home. home, you know.
It's
So
really
anything is possible. But I don't think this is healthy for our democracy. My fear is for the unprepared not to happen, because we saw how Niger has been taken over, of course, by military
yes.
government. So I just hope that this will not happen here. But if the economy continues this way and insecurity continues without any sign of it abating, then it means that our democracy is gradually being
how
threatened.
How safe is the military?
How safe is the military?
Because the military has been compromised. So how safe is it?
Well,
going into the military, will it save us?
Until we get there, let me say, until we get to that road.
Without to cross it.
Without to cross it.
That's all the Punch newspaper.
Going to the Daily Independent, the major story says outcry trails increase of aviation agency's contribution to TSA. The writer says stockholders won 50%. TSA may impact passengers' safety and comfort. And then another story says Army to address security dark areas in Enugu, says COAS. This can be found on page 29 of the Daily Independent. Now the Army is saying they want to address the security dark areas in Enugu State.
They should
what about the security dark areas in Plateau State? What's your take on this?
You see, this is very funny.
This is by the chief of
well, I really don't know, because recently, of course, the president had a talk, had a meeting with these with the security chiefs, and he told them that he charged them to do more. And I think I see President also trying to encourage them. Because part of what he said is that the people are proud of you. They know you're doing very well. You need to intensify efforts, because it is based on results that we will be able to say that indeed you are working. But of course, it started by commending them. It started by hailing them and all of that. But you see, we have to call a spade a spade. If you're not working, we need to let you know you're not working.
Exactly.
All right? So there's no point trying to patronize you. And I feel that as the number one citizen of this nation, he needs to look them in the eye and tell them the truth. But again, we have to also understand the way Nigeria runs. If you're being too strict, it's possible they start plotting your death, or plotting how you will live there any moment, any moment. So
interest should be utmost. Is it the interest of the citizens or the interest of the presidency of him being there? He should think about the interest. Him being overthrown shouldn't be much of a problem, because he should think about the interest of the citizens. What will make the economy thrive? What will make the citizens more comfortable? What will make Nigeria a better place? That should be the utmost, not him being overthrown. So he should look them and call a spade a spade. Look them in the eyes and call a spade a spade. That's my take.
all right, let's hope that the president is listening, and he'll be able to summon the courage to ensure that some of the corporates, I'm sure he would have the list of some of them, which many also believe they are also in his government.
Going further, FG supporting MSMEs with 125 billion naira, says Shatima. It can be found on page 7.
I think that's a good one. That's a good one for MSME.
That is, if the money gets to the hands
to
of
the
people. They just make all this budgets. At the end of the day, if you go around and start asking the people involved, they'll tell you they never got it. Like sometime, was 2 years ago after the COVID, they came to my area and they actually registered a lot of people and said they were going to give them palliatives, they were going to give them money and all that. They took their pictures, they gave them false hopes.
What about you? Were your own record wasn't taken?
It was taken.
So
it was taken.
Same here, and we didn't see anything.
So I hope this budget of 125 billion naira gets to the hands of the people who actually needs them. To other stories, Okupe, a political opportunist goes where food is ready. This can be found on page 7.
That's according to the Labour Party.
That's what the Labour Party says. But most of the politicians are like this. They're all opportunists.
You know what? This is funny to me. I'm calling Okupe a political opportunist. What are many of them? Are they different from him? They cross carpets at every slightest, at every slightest opportunity.
Pot calling kettle black.
I mean, that's just the case. That sums up everything.
And the other stories, Ayaun remains PDP's national secretary. Court declares.
Oh,
that's
wow.
on page 6. And another story says Gabriel Attal appointed youngest French prime minister at 34. Page 7. That can be found on page 7. And this is good, At 34. That's good. We should have more appointees that younger people.
That has always been the advocacy, but how many has been implemented or
The current minister of humanitarian that has been probed, she's just 37.
She's just 37.
Who knows? Maybe it's even because she's even young. They are trying to intimidate her. I told you earlier.
What do they know?
How was she trying to? What was she? What does she mean? Exactly. Questioning us that we are older than her. Where was she when I was in the university? I mean, I understand all of this and I know how it works. What do you know? They will even intimidate her. They say you're a minister at 37. You are lucky. You better keep quiet. If we tell you this is how we run this place, you have to follow suit. So I won't be surprised this is what has been happening.
Moving on, FG ASU fashion out modalities for averting industrial crisis. FG ASU fashion out modalities for averting industrial crisis. And then another story says.
That's a good one.
Another story says. FG constitutes 8-man committee to probe degree mills. Plenty of stories. We hope they put them into actions, and that's all I can take in on the Daily Independent.
All right, moving on now to the Nigerian Tribune. The major headline on the Nigerian Tribune says Tinubu slashes entourage for foreign local trips by 60%. The writer says President entourage not more than 25 officials for local trips, 20 for foreign trips. VP entourage not more than 15 officials for local trips. But I think this is a good one, and this is what we're saying. The need for the government to begin to cut the expenses so that the people will also understand that they can feel their plight. You cannot be telling us, look at when they went to COP28. The entourage almost 1,000 plus 1,400.
What's that for?
And we say that Nigeria's economy is on its knees. Does that show that the government, aligns with the people? All right. Before we move on with the newspaper review, let's quickly now look at our topic of discussion. We're looking at traditional medicine, its growth, and of course its promotion. A lot of people are saying that yes, traditional medicine is the right way to go especially for Africans. In Nigeria, if the whites are always with many of these orthodox medicines, which they do not really know our nature. You don't know how we are wired. You don't know the kind of mosquitoes we have in Africa. Oh my God! They can be better described as kings and queens. You understand? So most likely the mosquitoes. That's even if they have mosquitoes at all. The ones they can only walk on there will just be maybe they are just chiefs. When you have those with chieftaincy titles, but definitely not the kings and the queens. Okay, that's just on a lighter note. So how can we begin to also enhance traditional medicines? This is what we'll be looking at in our discussion segment. So our guest is standing by to help us take a cursory look at the growth of traditional medicines in Nigeria. But all right, good morning, madam. Many thanks for joining us in the U45 Morning Show.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
What do you think about traditional medicine in Nigeria?
Well, Traditional medicine for a very long in Nigeria, especially. And our forefathers, our parents in those days normally use the traditional, the herbal concoctions and things like that to heal themselves in from different angles. And if you can even remember, I think there was an operation. The first operation that was actually done from the brain was done by an African person, and it was definitely traditional herbs that they used in ensuring that the person gets back to strong health. So I believe that we still have these herbs, all around, and we believe that it's something we can continue to use and continue to heal us the way we should be healed. So I am a very strong advocate for traditional medicine.
A lot of
I can
research
hear.
has been carried out. Why some people have said that it's working for them. A lot of people still feel that a lot of times there's no measurement to the usage of these childhood medicines. What's your take?
Yes, so I agree with those people. But one of the community as a nation was that when our traditional medicine, when as we're developing and improving ourselves, with all the orthodox medicine as well, what we would have done, or what the government will have done for us, is to ensure that they put all the policies in place, and they have all the necessary support to be able to measure, or to put measurements into this. So that's one of the things in which we, the younger generations coming up, have done to ensure that we put the measurements in medications that patients can actually use, because this thing goes on almost everywhere in the world, in the UK, in China, and all that. They use traditional medicines to heal themselves. So why have we just abandoned ours and believe that our things are inferior and things like that? So we are already, the younger generation is already coming up with a lot of measurements that can help every patient in ensuring that they do not overdose on anything.
During the COVID-19, of course, a time when we taking different jabs and all of that. I spoke with one or two of these traditional medicines practitioners, and they say that they have cure for that and even beyond, talking about cancer, which the world still says that there isn't any cure for cancer. Some of them even say that they have what it takes to cure cancer. Talking about abandonment, why do you think government is really not encouraging it in Nigeria?
The question you've asked is very huge. I won't be able to open up on virtually everything, but I will say the lead ones that I can. I believe that our governments, they know that herbs works, and I don't have a doubt in my mind that the cure for the COVID, the cancers, and everything that you can call an ailment, that we have those cures, especially in Africa. But unfortunately, the people in power, let me use it that, or the Western countries will not want the herbal medicine to kick off, because if it does, because we have a whole lot of population in Africa, especially in Nigeria. If it does, then we're going to stop buying all the antibiotics and all that and come for these cheaper ones that we have here. And because we have a lot of alliances with all the Western countries, it is what they want, they will want us to do. But some of us are already coming up that, look, we have all these things that are beck and call, and they're growing virtually everywhere. So it is better for us to use them, because I am a Nigerian. Just like you said earlier, mosquitoes in Nigeria. You that lives in America cannot make me the drug or the herbs that will heal me, because the herbs that will heal me from that mosquito in Nigeria is in Nigeria. So I believe, taking it a step after the other, ensuring that people like us come out, talk to the government, let them pass the policies and things like that. We will be able to take herbal medicine or traditional medicine to the next stage in the nearest future.
Doctor, I'm really thrilled, based on your submission. Because earlier, while introducing the topic, I was also saying that how is it possible that somebody in US or any of the Western world will be the one making malaria medicines for us? We are the ones that know the kind of mosquitoes that we have here, and we should be able to, come up with a good medicine that will help to cure AIDS effectively. Now, based on what you said, because you said that it appears the Western world, they are the one dictating the tune. And again, do you see this as a way of Nigeria still being stylishly colonized?
We have never been free. Let me put it that way to you. And our leaders are not actually liberating us from it. We have never been free. Initially, they come to Africa to come and take Nigerians as slave trades, or to take Africans as slave trades. Now we are the ones actually japping, and they're giving us peanuts and all that to do those works and all that. So it's still another form of slave trade. I believe that we have so many resources here. And coming back to the traditional medicine, if our government can get their acts together, and a lot of us can actually, it still boils down to the government ensuring that the policies are put in place. They can fight for us, fight for Nigeria as a nation. So it's not that we're being told the kind of crops we should grow so that we can export, instead of us actually growing our own food. The herbs, and like you said, I want you to know that herbs actually assist in curing the ailment. The body heals itself, and so making your medicine your food and making your food your medicine is actually the way to go. So if we can actually have our food, grow our food with the kind of nutrients that we have, and not fertilized or chemicals induced and everything, or controlled poison, a lot of things will be done. But everything starts from, what are we allowed to do as a nation? What are we allowed to do as an individual? Some certain things I can't do. That if I ask for lands from government to be able to, I want to grow my herbs, and they will frown at it, because most times it's not. They will tell you that, okay, no, they can only give so and so for this, because we always ask for grants from other Western worlds, like you have said. So if we do not actually hold it, quite strongly, we'll continue to be under control. We've never been free. So just have it at the back of your mind, we've never been free.
Dr. Funmi, we all know from what you said also that the importance of herbal medicine cannot be overemphasized, especially as Africans. But I'd like to ask, is there an association of herbal traditional practitioners in Nigeria? If there are, what are they saying to the government? What's the association saying? What's the kind of communication they are having with the government? And then my second question is, what are the challenges? You own, you're a founder of the Global New Herbal Life Center. What are the challenges that traditional medical practitioners are having in Nigeria in terms of promotion, government policies and all of that? What are the challenges? Educate the public on this.
Thank you so much. So we have several, we have an association on herbal medicine, on traditional medicine. We have the, Association of the Alternative Physician and Complementary Medicine. We have the association running. And if you can remember, sometimes during the Buhari regime, the Buhari's wife tried to, assist in ensuring that some policies are passed based on herbal medicines. It went through the first reading, it went through the second reading, it went through the third reading, and when it got to President Muhammadu Buhari's table, of course, it was turned down again. So it's back again at the House of Rep, to start the work all over again. So it's a gimmick. They knew they knew where they were going before we even started it. So we are of the opinion that maybe this time around, if it goes through the first reading and second reading and third reading, they'll be able to pass the bill so that we can form a council, so that we can have a voice that represents us over there. I was in Abuja a couple of weeks back, and I went in the Federal Ministry of Health. I went to the Department of Traditional Medicine. It's just a 2x2 room or a 4x4 room or what have you, with a pharmacist heading as the directorship of herbal medicine. And I don't know what it's not even a pharmacologist or it's a pharmacy who actually believes in orthodox medicine heading that department. How do you expect it to survive? And you also have some other people that read Science Lab Tech and what have you. We do have, so we're not being represented. So that is one. So we cannot be represented. We cannot be out there until we have the bill that has been passed, and this bill is being sat on. So I don't know, maybe in our own years, maybe it will be passed. Okay, so that's one. Then the second one, what are the challenges that we are facing? Apart from the government in which I've spoken about, we the practitioners, or we as Nigerians, as citizens, we are one of our problems as well. We don't have one voice. You get people that is about they're power drunk. It is the power in which they want, and if you come with good intention, they see it as if there's an ulterior motives behind it. That someone like me, that I'm into manufacturing, and as I speak, I have over 40 NAFDAC numbers. So they're like, people like me, what am I looking for in this area? But I know what convinced me to come into herbal medicine. So, but the associations is not growing as it should, because we're power drunk. We're not looking at the future. How do we want to hand this over to our children, the next generation? Other than that, it is, oh no, I'm the vice president, I'm the this, I'm the that, So we're losing the focus. We're not actually hammering on the right thing that we should hammer on. And I pray that if we continue to mediate and have one word, one voice, then maybe we'll get to where we're going.
Quickly, the costs of many Nigerians have argued that the affordability of some of these traditional herbs are quite expensive, and a lot of Nigerians have resorted to self-trado medication, like taking of agbo, and some of these medication, they don't have the right dosage and all of that. I mean, what's your take on this, and what are the implications of self-herbal medication on Nigerians?
All right, you will agree with me that when you want to go, if you go to KFC, and you want to buy a KFC food or chicken and chips, is much cheaper than you actually eating right, going to the market and buying all your right foods and everything. So most times, if you're looking for natural things, it's always a bit expensive. However, I'm not ruling out the fact that some of these herbal medicine practitioners who are controlled, who are not in the association, inflate and charges people exorbitantly, in putting medications, right in front of them. They try to they try to use the condition in which they are having to manipulate them and get a whole lot of monies out of them. I will not continue to advise people. I advise people to continue to use self-medication herbal medicine. Just like, we have over-the-counter medicine. You can have over-the-counter. You can drink lemongrass. You can drink, some certain things. But when you're talking about some ailments that needs to be properly treated, the orthodox doctor will tell you that, you should come to the office, to the hospital after certain days. because then they will give you the prescription of the medications to use. I think it's the same rule goes for herbal medicine. If it's cold or what have you, yes, I believe that can actually be done as an over-the-counter medicine. But if it's, things like, infection of the bone, certain ailments that, a professional's attention, I will advise that we visit the herbal medicine. So one of the things we are doing right now is making sure that this herbal medicine is available, at different pharmacies and all that, in the prescribed bottles and affordable for a whole lot of people. So it's not that they are customizing it or making it especially for you for that ailment in which you are having, because Nigerians can actually take advantage of people when it comes to that.
Considering the fact that some of these practitioners take advantage of Nigerians, do you have a regulatory body to regulate practitioners in this your profession?
Thank you. So that's exactly where, so I'm going to take you a little bit back. That's exactly what I just explained. We have an association already that, that controls, that binds all of us together. However, a bill has not been passed. The bill has been passed for the association to commence. And the association has been on for over a number of years right now. But a bill to regulate that body, to come up with a regulatory body, that bill has to be passed. That means like NAFDAC or what have you. So if you want to bring your product out, it goes through that body before it probably goes to, or maybe after NAFDAC, it goes through that body to ensure that the toxicology test is done, lab analysis and things like that. But we do not have at the moment. So everybody comes up, I'm not going to mention it, everybody comes up with their prices, everybody comes up with the different costs. And I even heard from one of the practitioners that you charge people as the way they look and how they came. So if you go to a practitioner in a G-Wagon, rest assured that you're going to pay a whole lot more than you that went on a bicycle.
In Nigeria.
Sorry, can you come up? I didn't hear that. Can you run that?
Can you hear me? What are the major breakthroughs that traditional medicine has made in Nigeria?
Well, I can say there are several breakthroughs, because during the COVID, the Western world expected that a whole lot of Africans were going to actually pass on, but we did not. And most of the things we did were using, just herbal things. Now, but there, in terms of records, I would not say there is any breakthrough that has been recorded based on the fact that our government has not actually helped in ensuring that this thing comes up, because we have a lot of medications that can cure cancer. We have a lot of, or that can reduce, the cancerous cells. We have a lot of medications that can help with different things. But, when you take it to the medical institute of medical research or what have you, they come up with, they try to bury they try to bury it, and they keep elongating it, and they don't pass it. So I'm not that in terms of records, I would say probably none is in existence. But I know, for a quite fact that there's so many medications out there that heals people, and that's why a whole lot of Nigerians that are abroad, they always resort back home, please help me send this, help me send that, and things like that. But if our government can aid us in ensuring that, once a product is taken in for clinical trials and all that, then they'll be able to take it like, okay, yes, this product is made in Nigeria and is certified in Nigeria, and a whole lot of the cancer department, in the hospital, the cancer department, the leukemias and number of patients will reduce, and will not just be basing every single thing on orthodox drugs.
So Gidon, this is my question. Of course, first, I would like to know the name of your association so that at least the public can also be aware. Then, for those who do not really have, trust in trado medicine, can you tell us the advantages of trado medicines as against orthodox medicines?
So every medicine that you ingest in has, chemical components, and you need to, so it's a medicine, so it's not an everyday use, because whatever chemical components you put in, the liver is still going to, break it down, and we don't want to overwork the kidneys and the liver. So but for herbal medicine, I'm specifying everything on herbal medicine now. Even most of the things we eat every day, like tomato, onions, and everything, they're like herbal medicine. They're vegetables, but they're herbal medicine in one way or the other. So if we look at the herbal medicine, it's actually natural. It's not a controlled poison. It's not chemical. There is no additives in it. So when it's introduced into the body knows that, I have a chemical component that is natural to the environment, and it uses it. It takes the body back to the way the body's supposed to be, so that the body can heal itself. Please note that it's not herbal medicine that heals. It's not orthodox medicine that heals. It's the body that heals itself. So what the herbal medicine will do is that it will take the body back to the way it's supposed to be, so that it can heal itself. Now, orthodox medicine will trick the body that it is where it's supposed to be, so that it can do the same work. However, if the active ingredients most of the orthodox medicine also are made from natural medicine, the active ingredients of that particular plant or that particular leaf is extracted and ingested with some additives and everything, and you swallow it. Please note that, let's take a leaf. Let's take a bitter leaf, for example. If you take the active ingredient in bitter leaf and take it out, that active ingredient will still have some potency, but it's not as potent as it should be, because the non-active ingredient must be with that active ingredient exactly to be able to carry out its work. So that's why orthodox medicine will treat the symptoms. We treat the symptoms, and you never get out of it. You continue to have to use it, and you have to use it.
Many thanks for that explanation. However, I've always been wondering, doctor, that a lot of times you have typhoid and you buy these orthodox medicines, you find out that you are going again and again having to purchase it and use it, and it does not cures this very typhoid permanently. It keeps coming and coming. Could it be that it's a ploy by the makers of these orthodox medicines to ensure that you keep coming back to purchase it, maybe for their own gains? What do you think?
You're absolutely correct, my darling sister, because orthodox medicine does not cure. Because if it cures you, how are you going to come back to the hospital? So what it does is that it treats your symptoms. So let's take, for instance, that I'm having headache right now. Yeah, I want to know what is the cause of that headache. I want to know the root cause. But is that headache that the orthodox medicine, oh, you're having a headache, then they give me medicine for the head. Now, let's say, okay, then the following day, my hand started twitching. Then they give me medicine for the hand that is twitching. Not realizing that there is a root cause that is causing this twitching of the hand and my headache. But what herbal medicine does is that it returns the body back to the way it's supposed to be. So even when you are not aware, it's taking back the body into the shape it's supposed to be. So the headache, the root cause disappears, hence the headache does not come again, and the twitching of the hand does not come again. So the pharmaceutical industry is a huge industry. It's not us, but we are being told what to do, because we're being told that ours is not even working. Nobody actually encouraged us to do the measurement, because the difference is the measurement. Nobody is encouraging us to do the measurement. As a matter of fact, they're asking Nigerians now to export their what's it called? Their bitter leaf. Then they'll make it into capsules and they bring it back for us to use. Isn't it funny? And this is the bitter leaf that I can tell you that 70% of Nigerians or 60% of Nigerians, they have at the back of their house on the streets that they can easily pluck.
Doc, somebody told me a story that, the man was down with a particular ailment and had to travel to India. And when he got to India, at the end of the day, he was being cured with a bitter leaf. They washed bitter leaf and gave ephedrine. Yeah, ephedrine, that's St. leaf. And that was what they gave him, and he was cured. So imagine the amount of money he used to travel and all of that, and you just have it here. So a lot of time it seems that Africans or Nigerians, we underestimate the effectiveness of some of these leaves and natural leaves that we have around us. Now the question is, you have said that at a point in time your approval passed through the first reading and all that, it got to the presidency and it was it was thrown away, so to say. And now we also have to, or you also have to ensure that you also get your acts right and ensure that your own home is well placed. How do I mean? There are practitioners also who take advantage of these tribal medicines, and they also use it to dupe people. They tell you they can cure this. At the end of the day, they give you all of these herbs. It doesn't even work, and they charge so much. As an association or as a body, how are you looking at fishing out this kind of people in such a way that the government can eventually give you approval?
So I totally agree with you, ma'am, that a lot of people use this in traditional medicine to dupe people. There's no doubt about that. However, if we do not have the council, the regulatory body, we will not have the power to be able to do that effectively. So it's like taking something that you said, okay, we have to get our acts together. I agree. But in fact, I was shocked that the bill was not passed, because the former wife of the president was seriously an advocate of these certain things. But it's much than amidst the high. It's much more than what we can see. The president will not just approve that, but we hope we'll be able to do it this time around. Now, the associations that we have here, where we've come up with a website, we've come up with a whole lot of things that you can actually check out, registered traditional practitioners who are being guided under the laws of the association, and who will not just come up with the fact that, okay, no, this person is coming with a jeep, so I can charge this person an extra fee and things like that. No, because the association will control them. So we're employing that all the publics will pick the herbal practitioners that they want from the association's website, that because they will see it, and and if that herbal practitioner does anything wrong, you will have a place that you can return. You can report such a person, which we doubt can even come up, because we have the constitutions and the rules and regulations that we use to bind each and every practitioner. But we will still continue to push much more and to ensure that we're able to curb most of these things that are happening around Nigeria.
Dr. Lawrence, I'd like to ask this question. Can trado medicine cover all aspects of medicine?
I would say yes to an extent, and I would say no as well. But I'll tell you why I will say yes. So we have, like I said we have not actually been encouraged to develop it. There's so many areas in traditional medicine. We have the homeopathy, we have the naturopathy, we have the magnet, we have several areas. So it's, so we have, just like they have surgeries and things like that, so we have where, anybody can get specialized. But we do not do, like all the operations and all that, the surgical operations and everything. Like I told you, like it was started in Africa. The first brain surgery was done, by traditional medicine. So it can cover, the traditional medicine can cover all the aspects of medicine if and when we are encouraged and provided with the right tools that we should use. Yes, ma'am. Are you there?
I mean, what's your take on that? And then secondly, what's your advice to Nigerians when it comes to...
Come again. I didn't get that question.
I'll take my question again. How can we integrate traditional medicine and modern medicine? And then secondly, what is your take on Nigerians growing their own herbs in their backyard, and what are the benefits?
So if you look at China as a republic, China practice, go to any of their hospitals, see, they will ask you where you're going, if you want to use the modern medicine or if you want to use the traditional medicine. So, and I'm privy and I'm aware of it that the WHO has actually passed this for a long time right now, I think about 5 years, for the traditional medicine to be integrated into all the hospitals and things like that. I don't know if they're passing it on one hand and they're stepping it down on the other. I don't know. I can't tell you that. Which is the reason why you'll find out that, schools, universities like University of Lagos, University of Ibadan are offering courses in herbal medicines right now. Now, you asked that sorry, I didn't get that question. My advice to Nigerians on
traditional medicine.
Okay,
then the second question is the advice
at their backyard. I will employ
of cultivating herbs in their gardens.
It's a beautiful thing to do. I will advise every Nigerian to cultivate in their gardens. Even when you don't have gardens, you can get flower pots and make things like spring onions, scent leaf, like my other sister was saying, scent leaf, miracle leaf, bitter leaf, different things, even garlic, even ginger and all that. They sprout, and apart from that, they emit oxygen and they take in the carbon dioxide in the environment, because our environment also adds to it. So I will advise every Nigerian to please just take up the cultivation of different herbs. Whatever herbs you decide to do will be a very great venture, because healthy living is actually the way of life. Healthy living is the way of life. Yeah.
Of time, but I need to say this. I must say that you have spoken fantastically well, and I must say that I'm proud of you, really. The reason is not far-fetched, because a lot of people believe that this is a business for the illiterate, but the way you've spoken this morning, this is quite great. So well done. However, in encouraging or promoting modern medicines, what would be your words, your final words to the government?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your kind words. I'm really elated. So I will plead with the government to please take a good look into this, because they may think, people in government right now may think that they do not need it today, but they don't know if their generations tomorrow are going to actually be in need of this. It's good for us to leave something back for our children's children. We need to develop this. We have not really done anything in the past 60 years, as a nation in terms of herbal medicine. We should grow this. We should take a deep interest in this. And I pray, I urge the government to please take a good look into it. And we have so many people, not just myself, we have so many people, educated people, so many people that have the zeal to actually carry on, this trait, in the next level where it will be easily acceptable in the environment. But the government is not really helping us in this regard. So we are pleading with them to take a serious look into this and see how we can make Nigeria develop through herbal medicine.
Who have died by virtue of not using our traditional medicines. Well, on that note, I want to say many thanks to you, Doctor, for sharing your thoughts with us this morning. Do have a great day.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Lawrence Ugidon. She is the founder, Global New Herbal Life. Of course, we have spoken this morning about modern medicines. How do we promote it? How do we embrace what is natural? What is with us as a country? And I think the time is ripe for us to begin to promote ours, because a lot of times some of these orthodox medicines, guys, you would agree that it is killing.
It is a lot of side effects.
Yeah, a lot of side effects.
They
Exactly.
actually write out the side effects on the papers, but they don't tell you how the gravity of it.
And one wonders the reason many people are having kidney
Failures.
and all of these illness. And we have natural herbs that can cure it. So what are we waiting for? What's government waiting for? And one thing that amazes me that she said is that we are still stylishly under slave trade. I think.
But I mean, that's the reality.
You
We
can
all know
imagine
that.
the bitter leaf you have in your backyard. The white man is telling you now to bring your bitter leaf. I actually saw a documentary of the manufactured capsules of bitter leaves being sent back to Africa, and we have it in our backyard.
What about chocolates? They come here and
Yes,
take our
cocoa,
cocoa,
yes.
and at the end of the day, they modify it. Let me use the word modify. And at the end of the day, they bring it back to us as chocolates. They
And
come
we're
from
excited.
US, and we're excited. We are even asking,
For chocolates.
where the chocolate? Chocolate.
Africa is
Wow.
still the
So
mainstay.
what stops government from taking a group of young Nigerians who have
Send them
graduated,
abroad,
send them
train
there
them.
and learn how these things are being processed and becoming chocolate? A lot of things, and that's why I always give kudos to China. They don't play their things, their
Amazing,
tradition,
amazing
their form, mode of worship and everything. It remains
different.
the same. They are not following the Western
not following
world,
the-
wuka everything, and
Even the
you know,
TikTok,
even
you
their
and
TikTok,
I have
yes,
in Africa,
theirs is different.
It's different. It's
and
quite
they're always
educated.
projecting, technology,
That's it,
advancements,
DIYs and all of
that. Well, Nigerians, it is left for you based on where ours is to enlighten you, which we've done this morning. She has encouraged Nigerians to plant some of these herbs in their plants in your home because it's going to help to heal you. So that will be all on our discussion segment. We'll now quickly move to our ash trends and hashtags. I'm sure this is the time you're always waiting for. You like gist, so Solomon.
All right, there's a lot, but we'll take the few that we can. The first one is the TB Joshua, The Cult of TB Joshua by BBC. BBC released a documentary on TB Joshua, and a lot of Nigerians have had mixed feelings concerning this.
But you know what, Solomon, talking about TB Joshua, you see, my challenge is, why did the BBC, why did they have to wait this long until his death?
Yes.
That's when they are coming up with this very story. So this, for me, it tells me that they are cowards. That's number one. It tells me that they are not even practicing the journalism the way it's meant to be practiced. Because if you have facts with you, what is stopping you from bringing it out? Could it be that TB Joshua has, tried to grease their palm, or what? Because if I say them, this is the question I'm going to put forward to them. Why did you wait until his death? I mean, what can be done now? Nothing can be done now other than you're looking for traffic.
How's the old man and the dead man going to defend himself?
The dead
The
man
dead man
can
can
speak.
defend himself.
He
And
can
you
speak.
remember that before now, even there's this Yoruba program they used to do in those days before he died. They call it Kombe. Yeah, in Combe, you know, mysteries happening in the world. And he came out to tell us, there were women who came to testify against TB Joshua. How that story was swept under the carpet or went down, I can't really tell. Because they said that TB Joshua appears to them while they are sleeping, in their dream sleeps with them.
Put their his sticker
on their, you understand?
And they see him in the dreams.
And you didn't stop this. A lot of people went to the church and they have still continued to go to that very church. But maybe says it's better late than never. Maybe some people still go there and worship. It's called Disciples. The cult of TB Joshua. Yeah. Well, a clarion call for all those still going to take a second look at it or think twice before you get yourself.
Now look at what Idris Abdul Karim is saying. He says until BBC releases a documentary on the atrocities committed by Britain on African soil, only then will they have
moral justification to condemn any African man. You see, just like an African man in Combe, I'm trying to remember his name now. Kolawole Olawiyi. Thank you. Kolawole Olawiyi came out. He was saying it then. But we never believed him. It goes to show that we don't really believe in our own. The same thing we're talking about the straddle medicine.
Yes.
When somebody tells you, I can heal you this thing, you doubt it. You won't believe it. Why must it always be the time? Why must it always be that every time it is the Western world that are always dictating the tune? So which goes to show that it's like Nigeria is truly not independent. So why are we deceiving ourselves?
Is there any African country that is truly independent?
I'm sure that's why Niger decided to take their destiny in their hand and say they're not even practicing democracy again. Because with all that you're giving us, you're taking our natural resources away. Look at what that woman said, the doctor. She said that they are now giving us peanuts. You know, they take all of our natural resources, our herbs and everything, and they bring it back to us. We are paying so much, and they made the country unbearable.
Now, aside from that, there have been a lot of breakthroughs medically in trado medicine, and they don't want to.
They don't project it.
They don't acknowledge the African man that he has done. Like I was made to understand that the first test tube baby was made by a Nigerian, and he wasn't given the accolades.
You see.
My grand aunt told me that several years ago when she was still a baby, that Nigerian traditional medical practitioners were already curing cancer. But they didn't know because they didn't have the laboratories. They knew women's boobs will be bringing out water. You know that, okay, this is what they call cancer today. Yes. But they were being treated and the women get healed with leaves and herbs.
Should I amaze you? A lot of babies are being delivered by this traditional medicine practitioners.
Yes.
And you know what? It's always easy and they pay less.
That is it.
And at the end of the day, you go to one big hospital, they tell you that all you need to do is CS.
Guys.
They start cutting you and everything. I think the time is right for us to begin to take
back to our roots.
I also watched a documentary online where they were talking about the history of CS. The history of CS started from Africa. It was Africans that started it. It was Africans that started using all of those tools, but they were not modernized to evolve with it. And then the whites took it and it became a brand for them. So I think it's high time African leaders begin to prioritize Africa, and Africans need to. These guys are dictating everything that we say or do.
Do you know what I say? The situation in Nigeria, I see like a situation of a lecturer and a student who had gone to do a project, came out with something very creative, productive. And at the end of the day, the lecturer just made a mess of it.
Just because he doesn't want
2 years after, he goes back, pick it up, and develops it. And he says, he puts his name.
Take credence for it.
Take all of the accolades.
True. All right, moving to another story that has been trending since yesterday. Tiwa Savage has filed a report to the police and saying that her life, should anything happens to her, Davido should be held responsible. And that's because Davido, according to her, she claims that Davido threatened her. And so should anything happen, she made an official statement to the police that should anything happen to her, Davido should be arrested.
On what basis? What are they dragging?
Now, so I mean, back and forth, Nigerians have been getting the true story is not yet unraveled, but from what we're getting, we heard that
Tiwa is getting close to his baby mama. The first
yes,
baby mama.
Tiwa is getting close to the baby mama. What's her name again? And
Imade's mother?
Yes, she's giving a lot of information, and Davido, contrary to what we see on social media, Davido has not really been close to his baby Imade, and he has not been taking care of her.
And he has missed 2 of her best Christmases.
He has not seen for like 2-3 years now. He has not been in the baby's life, and so Tiwa Savage called Davido out. And this was what she said. She said, "You've got billions of naira, but your daughter Imade is suffering, and you have not seen her in 2 Christmas, and also missed her birthday." You know, this was Tiwa Savage calling out Davido.
Tiwa Savage ex Till Bliss gives
info about his beef with Davido.
Yes.
So the beef has been from Till Bliss to Tiwa Savage, and then now Davido is involved. So the whole story is clumsy, but little by little Nigerians are beginning
we're going to unravel it.
No, I know this is more than meets the eye. Maybe they might just be using the baby, the Imade baby and all of that as most likely before now. Both of them had grudges. You understand that they haven't brought out. I mean, they are in the same profession.
Exactly. I mean,
they're musicians.
Why would Davido say that?
When you want to talk about female musicians doing well, you pick out Tiwa Savage. And you want to talk about the young artists too, you pick out Davido.
So both of them are top
so
guns.
I believe there's more than meets the eye in this. Can we quickly move on?
Absolutely, absolutely. That's the last one I would take. But she said Davido said something, because Nigerians have been asking her, why would you take it as far as reporting to the police? Like, what, I mean, is your life, what did he do? Yeah, she made an official statement.
Yes, I know. Is anybody blaming her for doing that?
Yeah, some Nigerians
they know
are
themselves.
Saying
I mean, look at what happened to Mohbad.
No, actually, Davido said he will fuck her up.
Use the F word.
Use the F word.
So what are you saying?
She knows his capabilities.
You know, that's what I'm saying. They're just
trying to protect herself.
They know themselves. Just the same way Mohbad, maybe he didn't take it so seriously, and that's why he lost his life. So for Tiwa to come out, and my appeal is for the police to take this seriously.
Exactly.
Because we don't want to hear that tomorrow something happens to Tiwa or something happens to Davido. So sometimes it might also be a ploy.
Exactly.
She too can also be very armed and they all have goons. That's it. They all have goons.
Yes.
All right, that's all we can take for hashtags and trends this morning.
All right about now we will take a short break, of course, for our sports lovers. Sporting Joel Nwankego is standing by, so I will take a short break, and he will be here to give us updates in the sporting world. Join us again. school of thought believe the major challenges confronting Nigeria as a nation is caused by poor leadership. How true is this? You and I can actually put government into tools to deliver the dividends of democracy. Join us every Saturday by 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Let us look at the issues confronting us as a nation. Together we talk heads. Nigeria can be great again. I'm Adenike Oweye Ajiboye. Keep it. It's still the morning show, and it's so good having you back. It's about the time where you hear the latest in the world of sport as we now join Sporting Joe Wakingo. Joe, what's happening?
Well, a lot is happening. Good morning, viewers. Welcome to Sport Train on U45. While other nations are getting set for the AFCON, getting in there in Cote d'Ivoire, the national team Super Eagles were hosted yesterday to a dinner by the Lagos State Governor Sanwo-Olu, and he urged the team to go out there and represent Nigeria well and bring back the trophy. That was the slogan. But a lot of people believe with the area of players we have, we can do justice to getting that now Cup of Nations and bring it back to Nigeria, because the last time I won it was in 2013 with late Stephen Keshi. And right now, a lot of people believe you don't have a Victor Moses. All you have is just Victor Osimhen. But for me, with the quality of players we have in that team, I think we're good to go.
Yeah, Victor Boniface unfortunately got injured, and it's quite sad. I saw a tweet from him. He said 7 days to the Under-20 World Cup, he got injured and had to leave camp. 6 days to the Nations Cup, he got injured again.
Something
has
is wrong.
to leave camp. Only God can tell.
Are you sure that story is the true, is the reality? Are you sure that there's no beefs, there's no, you understand? Because sometimes it might just be that they really don't want him there, and they just tell him this is what you should say.
And sometimes, sometimes it has to do with the level of injury, because there's some kind of injury you can manage and probably get it treated in time.
No, he's actually injured.
Really?
Actually, groin injury.
And this is the second time. That's what he's saying. This is the second time he wants to represent Nigeria, and he has to get injured, and then we'll leave the camp.
Well, anyway, away from that, and it's been made clear that the Super Eagles will get $35,000 each if they win the AFCON. That's what's coming out from the presidency, and we got the news yesterday that they've been given $1.3 million just to support the Eagles out there in Cote d'Ivoire. That is quite massive.
That's a lot of money.
It is massive, but a lot of times when you hear this kind of huge money promised our players, sometimes that's where they go and they fumble. I don't know. It is even when they don't talk about money that they come with good results. And at the end of the day, they now promise them the monies won't get to them. So that's the challenge. I was about asking when they went for the dinner that the governor hosted them. I was telling myself, I hope they didn't eat too much, because when they get too relaxed, at the end of the day, we might not get good news. So my appeal is just that as they promise them this huge amount of money, let them also go there, pull their weight, and ensure that they bring back a victory in such a way that the sport lovers in Nigeria can also celebrate them and have more confidence in their ability.
Anyway, something remarkable just took place just yesterday. Now it's the turn of the ladies. Super Eagles captain, the female captain Onome Ebi, just concluded a deal in Israel at the age of 40. With a team called Beno Netanyana in the Premier League in Israel. They're currently sitting on 8 on the log, but recently she was with Niger Raiders in Abuja, and she just got a decisive deal in Israel at the age of 40.
Wow,
this is remarkable.
Commendable.
Yeah,
that's commendable. That's good.
Onome is a legend.
Yeah,
when it comes to female football in Africa. She's been to about five
World
Cups. I mean, that's massive, and this is a good deal. She has always been an inspiration to the younger generation, and I just hope that she flies over there.
Last time we talked about ladies at a certain age, as long as your legs can carry, you keep playing. You know, I think Onome might just end up playing till the age of 45.
Yeah, the way it is with this deal that she's got, the thing is for her not to also disappoint those that have, have that faith, confidence in her. Let her go there and do well. And you know, just like we talked about in our traditional medicine this morning, you'll be shocked that maybe these are the natural herbs she's taking, and she's still looking healthy. There's a day I was in the chamber of Falano. I mean, man was there when he was done. He told me, he said, "Look at that man, here. He's 96,
still working strong."
Man, transported himself on public transportation. Came there, and the man said, "Look at him. He's still walking straight."
Wow.
Do you understand? Can you beat that?
That's beautiful. Anyway, lastly, my news. Kano Pillars. Last season they were given a fine of 12 million naira because for misconduct, and right now the management said, please, you have to consider 12 million naira is just too much. We just hope that the MPFL look into that and probably reduce it to 6 million. What do you think, Solon?
Yeah, I mean, the fine is huge. We understand that they are guilty, but I mean, they should tamper justice. Mercy.
Anyway, we're fine. For me, I think when there are rules and regulations, when you go against those rules, you know, you get blamed and all that.
True.
Anyway, that's it for sport. Join us later today, 3 p.m. for Sport Hub.
Many thanks, Sporting Joel Wakigo. Interested. Well, unfortunately, this is where we draw the curtain on U45 Morning Show today. Many thanks for watching. I'm Adenike Oweye Ajiboye.
I am Osage Solomon Wilfred.
And I'm Joel Wakigo.
And this is also saying many thanks to the production team, of course, headed by Sam Eze. Many thanks to Tayo and also to Hamed. And of course, I'm not forgetting Akin Fabro. Let's do this again tomorrow, same time, and have a beautiful day.